Hello, everyone. This is Michelle from Divine Intuition. It's been quite a while since I've been online and have been making live streams. Tell me how the audio is like, if it's a bit too loud or too soft. So I'm just waiting until people show up. Hey, hello. Okay, that's great. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, so I was really pulled to do a reading, especially today, because of the full moon in Cancer that took place, I believe, either yesterday. I think yesterday or before yesterday. And I cannot do live readings during the full moon, especially when it's Cancer, because well, full moons are mostly a time to purge. So we're mostly purging our emotions during the full moon. And this was like the first full moon of the year of 2023. So it was quite a strong full moon. So it's really hard to do readings during the full moon. So I always want to do like the reading during like the actual full moon in Cancer or full moon in Leo or anything, but it was really hard. So I think we're in full moon in Leo now, but it was the peak of the full moon was in Cancer, so that was quite impactful during those days, during that day. Full moons are, it's a time to purge your emotions. It enhances your emotions. You're much more sensitive. You purge out a lot of things from the past, from certain situations that you're going through. And it's in Cancer. In Cancer, it's about maternal love. It's the mother sign, right? So it's about being, around places where you grew up and places where it feels nostalgic, right? Maybe close to your mother, right? Some people could feel more comfort during this time than others, depending on your situation. And some people may feel a lot of pain, a lot of agony, depending if you have that Cancerian energy around you or not. So, for example, during those times, people can be at home and can feel very comfortable and cozy at home with their family and their parents, their mother, being there, right? And so the full moon in Cancer won't impact them as much. But people who don't have that, right, and or could be in a distance, right, could really hit them really hard, right, and can miss that form of nurture and love, right, and being the full moon, it's really enhances it like double. So you can really feel it really impact us and kind of miss that energy, because it's all about nostalgic. It's no nostalgic memory, nostalgia of when we were younger, right, and things that we went through that were comforting and secure, right, and places where we felt very stable, right, but mostly very secure emotionally, right, and it doesn't have to be a maternal figure. It could be a paternal figure, or it could be somebody who has that energy, right? So yeah, so the full moon in Cancer was quite impactful, I must say, and it really affected me as well. And I I actually spent Christmas with my family, so that was really nice. I actually got to go back and heal that part of me. Then after leaving, the full moon in Cancer really hit me really hard, and being separated by them again was quite emotional. I was very emotional, and it hit me really hard. So yeah, but it also helped to cleanse and purge certain things that was blocked within me, right? So, and I'm guessing it did that same to other people. It's kind of like the purge of the year. Starting the new year, you're purging out all this gunk out, all this emotional, right? Mother Moon wants to cleanse that for you. She wants to purify you. She wants to cleanse you so you can have a good new start of the year, so that your new year is great and purifying and cleansing, and so that you can just start fresh and new, a new you. So it really wants to take that out so that you are much more energized to start the new year. Be quite impactful, right? Make impacts, right? And wants you to be, your fullest potential. That's what Mother Moon really wants, is for you to express yourself and show yourself in your most highest potential, right? So yeah, and now the moon is in Leo, so all that emotions, has settled. The waters have settled, and now we're entering more of a fire element. So kind of igniting the spark inside of us, showing that Leo percent, being on a video, right? And showing myself. That's very Leo. Presentable. Um, being in the spotlight in a sense, right? When we make videos, that's really what Leo is about, right? And it's in Cancer, so it's like a blend of both, right? A blend of water and fire right now. So yeah, that's what's actually pushing me forward to speak more about the moon, full moon in Cancer, right? And wow, the full moon was giant. I saw it outside and it was like, wow, it was beautiful, very beautiful, very strong energy for this coming year. It's a very nice sign. So I don't know about you guys. When I'm usually kind of afraid when the New Year's ends and when the New Year's starts, because when the New Year's ends, I get kind of a lot of premonitions of things that are to come for the next year. That's what usually happens to me. I get psychic messages. I get prophetic messages sometimes, and they all come true, and some things are not pleasant, some things are, you don't want to see them sometimes. Sometimes you think it's a curse. Or you want to just block it out, but I tend to have those, right? And clairvoyance, kind of, that's what it is. It's being clairvoyant. I'm very clairvoyant. And yeah, and so there's something about at the end of the year where everything starts to recollect itself, and everything starts to it's kind of like a summary of the year. And there's these beings, and I sense them. I'm very sensitive to them, but there's these beings that kind of inspect your life or inspect everyone in our surrounding. And they're kind of like, I don't know, I call them giants because they're very tall, and you can sense them around. I like to call them more inspectors than how, what would you call it, judgment angels, because that's what it feels like. It feels like they're kind of like judgment angels, and they roam around, and they have like this aura, this sense of like, there's like a sadness that you feel. Like, it's a similar, it's funny that I'm saying this, but it's like a feeling of like when you say goodbye to someone, but it's like you're saying goodbye and you're moving on to the next life, like you're leaving this earthly realm. It's very hard to feel that emotion of sadness, like of a goodbye, right? But I felt it. I felt it many times before with relatives that leave, and I can sense that feeling of like, right? So there's that type of sadness that I sense, um, but it was emanating from these beings that were roaming around, and I feel like they're kind of like judgment angels, or they're like inspectors. I don't know, and they kind of emanate this aura of like a bit of sadness, but kind of acceptance. It's like acceptance. That's the feeling I get that comes with sadness, right? And this actually was shown a lot to me around close to the end of the year. I tend to feel them a lot around that time. And that's why I get really nervous. I'm like, oh gosh, they're here again. So it's kind of like, how do I explain it? It's just their job. It's just, they just do that. It's just, that's what they do. It's like, they're not harmful. They're quite it's kind of a blessing when they're around, because they also come to your aid when certain things and certain obstacles happen in your life that as a human being it's so hard to resolve those things, seeing that we're so limited in our possibilities, and like we're limitless, but as a human experience, we can't do beyond what these beings can do, right? So they come and they assist us, and then they help us, right? So and they come to our aid. That's what they do too, but they're mostly inspecting and kind of giving us warnings of certain things. Like they come to your aid, but same time they come to your aid in a different way. They come to your aid in order to kind of awaken you again, to wake you up again, to remember, like, hey, you, or hey, Michelle, remember, don't forget your path. You lost track. Go back to your path. Remember this. Remember you were doing this. Remember this. Remember you were following this. Feel that feeling again, and it's kind of like resurrecting you again and putting you back and aiding you back to that direction of your soul's purpose, or like you feel alive again. And whereas you're kind of dying, it kind of brings you back to being alive. So they're very special beings, and you feel them around the end of the year. The best thing that I can describe this is, like, for example, if you're working at a pizza place, right? You're dealing with pizza, right? So when you're done work and you go out and you roam around, you're going to smell like pizza. So that's what I mean. It's just their job. They have that aura of, like, it's a sense of, like, it's like a sense of sadness and acceptance. So you can feel it and you get impacted. And that's when I get dreams and prophecies a lot, or like not prophecies, but for prophetic dreams and stuff like that, or clairvoyance. And that's when I'm like, oh, and I get those dreams. And then I wake up and I can feel the energy around me of those beings roaming around. And that happens all the time at the end of the year. And I'm always really like panicking because I don't want to see, I don't want to know what they're going to say. So, but yeah, so that's what it was at the end of the year. And then you get certain messages, of what happens is that as you get closer to the end of the year, they kind of roam around and they recollect the things around you, and they kind of see where you're heading, and they kind of give warnings, and they kind of tell you these are the warnings, and this is what's going to happen if you don't do this, or these are the situations that are going on, or they just kind of give you like a friendly kind of wake up call. They kind of turn the light on and they make you wake up, and same time, right? And they kind of recollect what you've done, and where you're heading. So there's those beings, and then there's other beings that are a bit more neutral. They're a bit more harsher. They're very strict, and they don't care if you get sick or something, because like I said, they do things on purpose to provoke, not it's just to stop you in your path. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna do something, then what they're trying to do, because I don't think I should talk about them right now, but I would like to have a talk. I would like to make a video one day and talk about these beings. I'm being told not to mention them, but I can mention the other beings. So these beings, they're friendly, and they have more of like a blue aura, so they're more gentle, and they come to your assistance. And then after the new year, when there's that recollection of a summary of your year, the next year there's a lot of purges in the beginning, so you start fresh. And you also have dreams, or like I tend to have dreams or prophetic dreams in the beginning of the year when the year starts. And I have a lot of dreams to tell me what's happening or advise me of things. And some of them are bad and some of them are good. It's neutral most of the time, right? So that's my advice, is to, I think you just need to recollect everything and write it in a journal. My advice is to write things in a journal. Write those things down. What do you feel close to the end of the year? What are things happening around you? What have you done in the end of the year? What are you realizing that you should have done or shouldn't have not done? Try to make a summary, try to write it down. And what messages are you getting that are telling you that, or what you should be doing, or what you're losing track of, right? And then write down in the beginning of the year, what did you see? What messages did you receive? Those are all messages of what's going to come to the next year, right? So that's my advice for this 2023 New Year's. And then the first thing we receive is the moon in Cancer. So that's already kind of like a foreshadowing of the year, right? With the moon in Cancer. So, okay, so I think I'm going to start the weekly readings for you guys. So this weekly reading, So this weekly reading is from January 9th to January 22 of 2023. So this is beginning the new year. It's already starting fresh. The energy is foreshadowing of the year. And this reading, I kind of want to make it not too prophetic, but like a little foreshadowing of what's to come in the year. But mostly it's just going to focus around the 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks coming forward. What's happening? What's going forward? What advice they want to give you? How can we help you out? How can spirit guides really assist you in what you're going through? And same time, it's going to leave a little bit of an aura of a foreshadowing kind of feeling of what's to come. I could do later on a prediction of the whole year, but it's better less to do some small things like this. That way, it's probably just me. I'm probably scared of seeing things in the future because they usually do come true. So, but not all of it is bad. It's good. I think it's, you know what it is? I think I'm a little traumatized of these past 2 years or 3 years because they were dark times. So there were times where people faced a lot of darkness, a lot of shadows. And so a lot of the premonitions I got were not really good and they all came true. And so that's why I'm like, and same time, all these beings and that I see. But yeah, let's just focus on the positive. We're moving forward. I have a feeling this is going to be a good year. There's going to be good energies this year. I remember since 2019, I could perceive that it wasn't going to be a good year, nor it was going to be a good year for the other years as well. And that's when the pandemic hit. So, and a lot of people passed away. We lost our loved ones. I lost a loved one. So it wasn't great. These 3 years were not great. But there were a lot of things that people were doing to help sustain the planet so that the planet would stabilize, restabilize, and neutralize, or I don't know, kind of like reprogramming the planet basically. And so I guess that's what happens whenever there's a shift like that. There has to be some sort of cleanse, and there has to be some sort of reprogramming of everything. So these kind of things happen, like the pandemic and all these other things that we had to go through. We purged a lot of darkness this year. That's why we're also ascending. So the planet Earth is also kind of like reaching another state. I think where the planet Earth is now in 5th dimension. So I think the Earth has moved to 5th density. So the Earth has moved to 5th density already. And in order for things like that to elevate, or like the planet needs to go through purge, and that means we all needed to purge out our darkness and go through a lot of trials and challenges, right? So, which is why whenever something major like this happens to the planet, we have to face some sort of cleanse or some sort of shadow phase, It was harsh, but now we pull through. So now I feel like it's calmed down. All that storm has calmed down now, and now we can begin something new. So this year will feel very light. That's what I feel. Will feel very light, more peaceful, I feel. It won't be like the other 3. It won't be like the 3 years we had to go through. That was quite challenging. We had to be like warriors to face those to face those trials, right? And I had the most weirdest dream right on the first day. Oh, yeah. Well, that's what happens. I had a dream like that 2019, right? And then a lot of things didn't go through well. Yeah, that could be a message, but it could also be a warning of something. And so they're mostly like warnings of what may come, warnings of what you have to be careful with and be mindful of. So that's I that happens to us a lot. So yeah, Kevin, I know that happens to you too, and it happened to me a lot too in the past too, and that's why I don't like to focus on it, but it happens. And I think you have to pay attention to what the message is and try to see what it's trying to tell you so that you can resolve it during the year. Because I think that's what it is. It's like they're showing you things that you're not aware of, but they're making you aware of it so you can see and you can probably resolve it. So okay, so I'm gonna start pulling the cards out for the week and for the 2 weeks. So let's see what's coming. I won't do it this in order. I'll probably make it a bit more scattered. So just to see like pieces of the messages. Okay. Ooh, that's a good start. So we have the Six of Wands. That's a good start of the year, right? So we have this card here. Six of Wands. So Six of Wands is about victory. It's about achieving something that you are striving for. Any ambitions and goals, anything that you're trying to pursue. Could be work related, could be relationship related, could be something related to business pursuits or anything you were putting your mind to. I feel like you're struggling a lot during these times. And so I feel like now you are seeing the results of your hard labor, perhaps. It could be related to relationships, it could be related to jobs. So maybe you are pushing yourself really hard towards something, but you weren't seeing the results of your effort, the results of your labor. And now it looks like things are looking up and things are going to start to manifest for you. You're going to see that you're going to be recompensated, like rewarded. So that's what I feel. It's like your reward is finally coming, and people are going to notice you, and they're going to see that. They're going to see your hard work. They're going to see who you are. Your rewards are coming, and there is a sense of victory that is coming forth for you with whatever you're building. It could be also any business that you're working, anything that you are pushing forward on. Looks like it will be successful. Things are working around for you. People are cheering for you. People are admiring you. You've worked really hard on what you're doing, and so you are quite victorious at this time. So there is going to be a level of victory, I feel, for the 2 weeks, and even for the coming year. There is a sense of like victory, So you're kind of reaching the end of that journey, and like you're reaching kind of like that goal that you've been striving for a long time now, and you will receive it this year. And you will receive it. You're going to start seeing bits of it this 2 coming weeks, right? And if it's relationships, and this relates to relationships too, you're probably going to see that in relationships or in love or interactions. They are quite positive. They seem to be positive outcomes, things that you were investing. So it's like when you invest in something, that's mostly what I relate it to. When you invest something so hard and put your effort so much, it's actually going to be manifested now. Like your reward is coming, and you will get your reward now, and all your hard work will pay off. So even in relationships are a form of investment, and you will kind of start to see that this relationship is starting to move forward now. there's more interaction, there is more love, there's more connection, whether with your spouse, your partner, romantic interest, whether it is with family relationships too. Like in my case, when I went back home, I tried to build a relationship with my family again to strengthen it, and you start to see the results, and it's moving forward, and there is strength in the relationship. So it's building, it's moving in a positive direction. So anything that you're relating to with family or friends, you're going to see that it's progressing and it's moving forward. Okay. And yeah, anything that you were pushing forward in terms of any dreams, goals, ambitions, you're going to be quite victorious and successful in it. So looking forward for that, right? And another card I see here is you have the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords is mostly, it's a lot of communication through emails, communication through text messages, lots of air. So lots of like internet, perhaps lots of things involving communications through internet. There is a feeling of feeling on guard in something, feeling criticized, or feeling like you need to you need to criticize something, or maybe standing your ground. So there is kind of like a feeling of being guarded, right? And being ready and prepared, like to strike. If you're striked, then you're preparing yourself to strike back with the sword, because the sword is the sword of intellect, the sword of the air element, right? So there is quite a feeling of being guarded and being very sharp in what you perceive and what you see. And that involves a lot of air element, that involves a lot of thinking, analyzing, and communicating, right? And if it could be vice versa, perhaps you're the one being criticized, or you're criticizing somebody else, or giving sort of criticism, right? um, some people don't take lightly, some people don't take it very lightly, and so that's why there can be conflict, right? And if it's towards you, you may feel like that too and guarded, right? So there is going to be quite some communication back and forth. It could be messages and texts, could be with friends, families, text messages. There is no conflict. It's not, the conflict is not as intense. There's just very kind of like a feeling of always being kind of on guard, right? That's like ready to strike. Like what? What are you saying? Kind of feeling, right? So, and that's kind of like back and forth, right? So between you and someone too, it can be like that. So sword fighting. That's what I feel. And or could be text fighting. You know how like friends kind of text each other and or get a fight, and then they just start to say and criticize everything like that. So it could be like that. It could be small things like that, or it could be big things like sending big emails about certain things that are conflicting and need a lot of analyzing and strategizing it as well. So it could be serious as well. So it, whichever it is, there will be a lot of communication coming forward these next 2 weeks. And but you have your sword there, and it's nice and sharp. So um, I had that flying dream again for the first time this new year in a long time. It felt so good and didn't want to end. I think what it's trying to say, yeah, I know you have these flying dreams a lot. And I realize that these flying dreams that you have usually come from like a time when you're feeling more free in life. Like, I noticed that pattern with you is that you feel like whenever something is not as stressful on you, and you feel a bit more liberated, and you're starting to do things that you enjoy and you're being yourself, that's when you get a lot of flying dreams, I realize. So probably you having it in the beginning of the year means that this year is going to be much more liberating than all the other years. Like you're going to feel more free. You're going to be exploring around more, knowing you like to explore a lot. So maybe you won't have too much work overburdening you. Maybe your job is going to be much more lighter this year, and things are going to be less heavy. It's going to be lighter. So you're gonna feel free, like flying, like light, right? So yeah, you didn't want to attend. Aw. Hoping that captures you. Yeah, I noticed that with you. So you always have those dreams, right? When you're less busy or you don't have too much stress on you. And you feel like you're yourself. You're bird, right? It's also a totem animal. Your spirit guide could be that. Could mean like, yeah, you're free to do what you want now. You're liberated. You're flying. You're in the air. So it's like you're very connected. You could be astral projecting too. So you're probably floating and flying, and because you're that bird, you turn into that bird every time you fly. Your fourth year film is about that, right? So you fly in the sky. You turn into that bird when you fly, when you astral project. So that could be it too. I used to have flying dreams too. I would just like float around and fly around the buildings where I used to live in this apartment with my family, and I would just float around and see the buildings and fly. I haven't had that in a while, but recently I had a flying dream too, and I haven't had those in a long time. And I was like floating up above the sky, and I'm like, oh, it feels so nice to fly again. So I was probably astral projecting that time. So yeah. Okay, so the other card I got here for the witches, this is the witches tarot, is I got the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords mostly speaks of feeling kind of trapped, but you're not really trapped. It's like your mind is, you're overthinking too much, overanalyzing too much, that it kind of entraps you, right? You have to sometimes not think at all. You have to have a free mind in order to pursue something, in order to push forward. Because sometimes we get stagnant. Sometimes we get stagnant and we think too much, and then we can't make a move, let's just say, or we can't move on forward in taking this opportunity, or we can't go out and to these trips or take that flight or take that job or push forward in this relationship because we're mostly kind of overthinking it a lot. And that's what the Eight of Swords is about, is kind of being trapped, but being trapped with your own mind, your own thoughts. So swords, again, the sword of intellect. The sword is an air element, and there's so many swords entrapping you, meaning there's so many thoughts entrapping you. And I'm sorry. And you're also kind of blindfolded right here. See? So you're blindfolded and unable to kind of see things. You could be in denial of certain things, or you could be avoiding to see a truth, avoiding to see a situation. Because you avoid it, it kind of entraps you and you overthink, and then you get stagnant and you aren't able to move forward. So because you aren't able to move on forward with all these thoughts, you can't progress on certain things. Things stay stagnant, right? So that's what I see for you guys. Let's see. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of lots of opposing, contradicting opinions. Not opinions, but facts, perhaps, because we have a strong air element here with a strong sword. So these are facts, and you could be, in confliction with someone. But I feel like your sword is stronger. Like, I feel like you won't have that much confliction with them because there is a sense of like, and I relate this to myself because I feel like I'm like that too. I have a lot of, I hold the sword very strongly all the time in certain circumstances in my life, and it's kind of like a gift. Not a gift, but it's just I have that. It's just my nature. It's just my gift, and probably a past life or something. I was like dealing with those matters, and I feel like you will also have it too, and just trust in that and believe in that, right? Because overall, there's just opposing energies, and as long as you kind of stay firm in what you're doing, stay firm in your communication skills, then you should be fine. Don't let yourself be bombarded with thoughts. Don't overthink too much because that's just going to stagnate you. Sometimes you just have to kind of like count to three, 1, 2, 3, and just do it without a thought. Sometimes you have to do things without thinking. You just do it. You have to be impulsive sometimes. Some things require thinking, yes, strategizing, calculating, right? But for example, if let's just say certain situations like dating, you're dating in a relationship, yeah, you have to sometimes think fast. You can't constantly think about it or else things are going to be stagnant and things are going to freeze, right? So, or when it talks about job opportunities, sometimes you can think about it for a certain period, but then if you overthink it too much, then you'll freeze and won't make a decision in terms of opportunities out there. Sometimes you have to act fast and quick and with an instinct, with a feeling. Otherwise, things will be stagnant. But overall, there is quite a progression. There is positivity, there is victory, there is success. You will get your victory and you will get your success these next 2 weeks. So, congratulations on anything that you are pursuing. So, let's take out a few cards from these ones. Maybe we'll do the Sagittarius first. Let's see how much time I have. Okay, I have a few time. So I like this deck. This is my favorite deck. This deck. And I'm going to pull some cards from this one too. So from Sagittarius for the heart. And then maybe we can end it with a nice little message from the Enchanted map. So I like the little messages they give here in this card. So let's take more cards. Yeah, I had a flying dream too, Kevin. I was flying, and I haven't had that feeling in so long. It was so nice. I was flying. Last time I had a flying dream was like long ago when I was like 17 or 18, and then I swear I never had a flying dream again, or never felt like I was astral projecting or flying. Probably once, but then that's it. But I don't remember. And then I had one again, so that felt nice because I finally had the flying dream. But I wasn't a bird like you. You were a bird, so. Okay, so I'm going to take more cards for. Oh, this card popped out. I'll probably put it on the side. I got this. I got deception and envy. So be careful with deceptive people around you. I got that card. I'll just put it on the side. So yeah, be careful. That can happen at work a lot. There's a lot of deception I always sense around me. So gotta be careful. Even with friends can be very deceptive too. A lot of friends can be two-faced, right? So you gotta be careful with that. Or even people that maybe you're dealing with, maybe romantically, you gotta be careful too. You don't know who's deceptive. You gotta be careful. Always be careful. Always have to kind of have a strong intuition to see the mask through the person. Because everybody wears masks. And this guy, he's wearing a mask, right? So he's wearing a mask too, right? And he's kind of taking out the mask a little bit. So gotta be careful, right? Okay, so let's take some card. That one just jumps. I just want to show itself for a bit. Okay, so there are some losses that you are feeling right now. There is a little bit of sadness you may be feeling in the next 2 weeks. Probably a feeling of nostalgia. Like I said, this full moon in Cancer was quite strong, and that kind of makes us kind of feel, if we don't have that feeling of the past, like feeling nostalgic or being with family or people that may give you that comfort, or missing someone, that could be very strong in the past 2 weeks. Next 2 weeks, there is a feeling of an emotional loss that you may feel through the next 2 weeks. There is quite a sense of Longing. I feel like there is a longing of something, longing of someone. Perhaps this is a very kind of relationship based card. So there is probably certain emotions may start to heighten up in the next 2 weeks. You may feel more of the waters rising, right? And you may be missing someone, missing a situation in your life that brought you joy and happiness. Nostalgia, missing family, could be missing maybe a relationship didn't work out, and so you probably feel that loss, right? So there is going to be a bit of an emotional purge coming through the next 2 weeks, and that's kind of like the waves that the full moon provides. The full moon is kind of like the full moon will make the waters rise within you, but for a purpose. It's never to kind of harm you or make you overburdened, but it's to kind of release it, right? And kind of be aware, kind of like purge it out. So there will be a sense of kind of the levels rising again, right? So in my case, the levels were high like the next 2 days, and now they're slowly going down. And then after probably a week or two, it's gonna rise again. So it's like this. So there's gonna be a rise of emotions through the next 2 weeks, a little bit, and you will need to kind of feel it and really and become aware of it, and then release it and let it go, right? So that all has a purpose as well, right? Now we have this card authority. So we have the emperor. So the emperor is quite a stoic individual, very like that on point, very like gotta do this, we gotta get these things done, we gotta do that. Very masculine energy, very father-like energy, quite the opposite of the empress, because the empress is number 3. She comes first, and then comes the emperor, number 4. So yeah, the empress is the first one. No, the first one is the magician, number 2 is the high priestess, number 3 is the empress, and then it's the emperor. So because everything is creation, so everything is birth, everything has like a mother energy, right? Then comes the father that structurizes everything, right, of creation. Creation can be chaos. That's what creation is, can be described as chaos, where everything is spread everywhere. Creativity, it's like splashing paints all over the canvases. Imagine that's creativity. That's the energy of the of um of the empress. It's the full creative energy, creative embodiment. She's the essence of creation, and she's the maternal figure, and she's that maternal figure. She has her throne. She is the empress. She knows also how to rule her kingdom. She knows how to rule her kingdom. Same with the emperor knows how to rule their kingdom too, but they're very their purpose is just to structurize and organize and to get certain rules, right? It's like the mother and the father, then the mother and the father in the tarot, and he's mostly the one giving the rules, right? And the mother is the nurturing, protective one. It keeps you in her womb, and that's why you always see her with like always pregnant with a baby, right? Because she's pregnant with ideas. The empress is pregnant with ideas all the time and wants to birth them. Emperor The emperor and the empress can work very well together if both know how to complement each other. Like, for example, because both of them have such a dominant personality in what they do, they're both in their throne very strongly, and they both have a strong purpose. There can be quite a clash between both of them. But the problem is that they actually can work very well together if the masculine learns to reduce a bit of the ego, right? A bit of the power, right? That doesn't turn into toxic masculinity. It has to be more of a divine masculine kind of energy, right? And the feminine also has to learn to kind of allow the emperor to help her structurize herself in a way, because her energy is chaotic, but it's a good chaos, right? It splatters everywhere. She's creation, right? And she's gifted with ideas and burst them, right? And quite yeah, quite yeah, creative. um but not everybody's ready. Not that these two archetypes sometimes are not ready to work together. It's like they have a lot of things to deal with. within themselves. So for example, authority, right? Male authority. An empress doesn't like to be dominated by a male, right? So she's her own queen, and this is the own king, right? So she will not allow them a masculine male to dominate her. That's the thing, right? And then, but the thing is, with an emperor, he's used to dominating people or being the boss and being doing things like that, or being aggressive in that sense, right? But Empress is also very in her throne, and she's very empowering as well. And so that's why they can clash, and they have to learn to work together, because they have to kind of reduce it. So he has to learn to not be so domineering, and she has to kind of once in a while allow the masculine energy to be in charge, because the feminine energy struggles. Well, the empress struggles to allow the masculine energy to take charge of her, right? Because no one takes charge of her. She's the empress, right? So that's why it can be quite clashing. And so this archetype is going to appear a lot again in the next 2 weeks. There is going to be a presence of a masculine energy, an authoritative energy. So this can be a boss figure. It can be your spouse, your husband, or a paternal figure, a father figure, or a boss. This is going to be quite conflicting, because depending on who you are, if you have the archetype of an empress, because I kept getting the messages of an empress, or if you're a female archetype, or if you are a male archetype, you can clash a lot with this, because two emperors also, two authorities can also clash together, right? So this is why archetypes are important, but archetypes hierarchies do clash, right? And I've seen it a lot in my life, right? And it's something that it's difficult to work with. And this is why I related to this card a lot, being kind of on guard, right? Because of this authoritative figure, right? So, yeah, there can be conflicts with an authoritative figure, of a male energy, authoritative male energy. But because he's very in his role, it could come out as like there could be misunderstandings as well, because he's a very authoritative person who gives structure and organization, right? But sometimes his approach could be too aggressive. So you have to learn to kind of communicate, right? There has to be better communication, because there is a level of too much aggression and too much authority with this individual, I feel. So gotta have proper communication with this male authority in your life, perhaps, and it looks like you will have proper communication with them, and things will go in your favor. So you have the Six of Wands. But there is a feeling of loss with this Six of Wands, like perhaps maybe you're emotionally attached to these situations, or emotionally attached to this emperor. So, like, in terms of like, in terms of could be friendship, could be business partnerships, could be, kindred spirits. So it could be, it happens a lot. I see it a lot in business, like business partnerships, a lot, where like people can get really close to each other as business partnerships, but then you just clashes, because there's just too much domineering personality in both sides, right? And it sucks to see that. And then there's a feeling of loss, right? Because could work very well together, right? But these things happen, these conflicts happen, these clashes happen, and you sadly sometimes have to say goodbye to the business partner or the coworker or your friend or whatever you're dealing with. And there's a loss, there's an emotional pain that comes to it. But there has to they have to learn to balance, like yin and yang, like learn to harmonize, right? There has to be harmony in these within within you and this person, or these two individuals, right? And until there's no harmony, then there's just going to be clash all the time, right? So there has to be harmony. So that's what I feel. But luckily, the light is coming to your aid. So we have the light, which is 19, the sun card. So the light is quite a gift. It is like the aid that comes to your rescue. So, like, remember when I was mentioning those judgment angels that come roaming around, or they're like inspectors that roam around? They kind of come to your aid. They kind of awaken you, and they kind of keep you on track, and they kind of bring a little light back to you. Well, that's going to be happening more often in the next 2 weeks. There's going to be a sense of aid coming your way, kind of like things going forward for you. And that has something to do with the Six of Wands, pushing yourself forward in something, pushing yourself forward in victory, in achieving something. And that's going to be looking forward for you. Like the light is there. It's a yes to your question. It's basically, this is your answer is yes. This is the light coming through and moving forward in a better direction. So probably you were going through a lot of darkness before, a lot of shadows, a lot of pain, a lot of betrayal, a lot of depression, a lot of feeling very, very low in your life. But now it looks like things will progress better for you. There will be a sense of like the light at the end of the tunnel. So now the light is moving forward. The light is you're moving forward towards the light. You're moving forward towards a better future, a brighter path, whether it be in your lifestyle, whether it be in relationships, whether it be in your work, in your job, in your business partnerships, in your business in general, whatever you're dealing with, there's something bright coming forward. You're moving forward to a better path. That's what I see. So this is a good time for you for around, well, it's interesting because this is kind of like a foreshadowing also of the year, so this is quite nice, but it's mostly focused on the 2 weeks of this year, right, of 2023, right? So that's good. So yeah, so if we add this together, 19, 24, so that's 20, so that's the Wheel of Fortune. So there's a lot of change coming forward now because of all these energies and interactions that you're going through, right? So the with dealing with the authority figure, dealing with the emotional loss, dealing with, and also but same time receiving the light coming to your aid. So that's all a blessing. That's all a change. All these obstacles, all these challenges that come from people in your life are and all the sadness that you would go through, it's all have a purpose. Like it's all helping you purge something. It's helping you make you realize something. It's helping you awaken something here. It's starting to kind of like helping you bring forth more light into your life. So you're raising your vibration to a better direction in your life, where you were in a much lower path. Like I was in a very low path before, very low place, I think, and for the past 3 years, and I slowly been rising up, slowly pushing myself out of the shadows into the light. And finally, it's like, oh, the light is there. So you probably will also start to see the light coming through, right? So you'll see your life taking you to a better direction. That's the message. So you will see your life slowly escalating now into a better direction. And there's just going to be more of a sense of bliss now. You're going to be more happy, more joyful. You're going to be more ambitious in what you're doing. Like you're gonna have such clarity. You're gonna feel strong, and have a strong solar plexus and a strong vitality in your heart, because the light in your soul is growing. The inner light is slowly, the spark of light is slowly growing, right? As now you move forward into a better direction, you move forward into a better path, you're moving forward into the light. So that's what I see now. These challenges are for a reason. These challenges have a purpose. It's not just this is how your life always going to be. No, they are there for you if you search for them. They will assist, spirit guides, angels, um, the divinity, people, even counselors, even your friends, they're there for you. They're your mentors. They are your light too. So go and reach for them. Reach for them so that they can assist you and they can help you. So that's the message. So let's take out another 3 cards. So that was the Psychic Tarot. I like this one. It's blue. I've always been drawn to the blue color, and this really spoke to me. It's like it's speaking to my soul. So, all right. So we're gonna use this one now. The Psychic Tarot for the heart. Ooh, this one wants to jump out. I'll show it later. Yeah, I'm just looking at these cards and I'm like for example, like this one just jumped out. Success and growth. So it's like whatever you're going through, whatever trials you're going through, it's just going to lead you to success and growth either way. Like it's just an obstacle on the road. It's just a block on the road. It's just a rock, a big rock, a really annoying rock in the way of your road that just likes to cause trouble. So in my case, I'm relating it to the authority individual. Right. So with you, it could be other situations because I can relate to this. And there's success and growth, right? So this all has a reason. This is just rocks and turbulences around your path. Not all roads are smooth and smooth. Not everything is a smooth sailing. Like I said, like the famous quote I always like to say is, I am not afraid of storms because I know how to sail my boat. So I always get prepared when I can sense there's like a storm is coming. And I'm kind of like superstitious in that sense, where like when I do feel like people are saying, oh Michelle, or oh, did you hear a storm is coming, like a winter storm, these next 2 days there's gonna be a storm coming, and then I kind of take it, I don't take it literal, I kind of feel it like it's a message, like it's a sign, a warning saying, prepare yourself. There could be conflict with family. There could be conflicts in your relationship. There could be conflicts in the job. There's a storm coming. Um, uh, uh, grab cover or it's like not a long time ago, but I've been learning now. It's like, imagine being just there sitting in the storm. Like you see everything. You see the storm. You see what's going on around you. You're in the storm, but you're not reacting to the storm. It just is. You're just like the observer of the storm. Have you ever tried to do that? Do that exercise where you're like, all right, here's the drama. It's arising. Okay, I see it. I am observing it, but I'm not interacting with it. It just is. I am just the observer watching. Have you ever tried to do that exercise? That's basically like, in a way, sailing your ship in the middle of the storm. Or, it's not always that easy. Sometimes you do have to react a little bit to it. But the way you react says a lot to how you can handle the storm. So there's when certain situations, and especially during Christmas time when conflicts arrives, like when you're with a group of people, how are you going to react when there's certain conflicts coming forward? Are you going to be translucent and let it pass, or are you going to react to it, right? And reacting is normal. We all react to things, right? We have a lot of pain. We have pain bodies, and we're going to react according to our pain, right? But actually try this exercise. I've tried it before, where like um try not to let the storm take you away, like tumble the boat down and you're drowning in the water with your emotions. No, trying to actually grab hold of the boat and like just take charge of where you're heading, like take charge of your direction, take charge of the storm, like of you, take charge of you and your reactions and your mental state and how you're going to react to things, right? Even though it's stormy, how are you going to handle it? How are you going to handle it, right? You're going to handle it You're going to handle it in the right way. You're going to handle it by just being present, by just being the observer of the situation and not reacting to it, because it's not permanent. It's like a wave. It it comes and goes, it comes and goes, and comes and goes. So you're going to notice that it's going to come and then it's going to go. So it's not permanent. So any situation that's happening that is conflicting and could arise some turmoil in you, it's not going to last long. It's going to go. And so just be like present with it, knowing and being aware that it's going to go. So you see the conflict, but then you're going to see it go, the conflict go. So that's what is a good practice. It's a very meditative kind of practice. And I've done this before, and you really feel like you are in charge of yourself. And even though there's a storm around you, you are in charge of yourself and the direction of the boat and where it heads. So yeah, do not be afraid of storms, for you know how to sail your ship. That's a good advice for what's coming forward. So where I was going with this is, oh yeah, we were talking about the light. So the light. So this is what I mean when I saw this card too, or sadness and isolation. So there are periods of sadness, but there's periods of feeling the light again. So I feel like this was like the past 3 years, right? We all had to go through that. This was very painful. And now I think this year we're going forward. Like suddenly we're receiving light, we're receiving aid, we're in the right direction, we're in flow, right? So it's like we had to go through this pain in order to move forward to our next direction, or allow more light, allow for more light, for us to receive more light. That's what I mean. So I keep getting cards of light. Oh my gosh, here's another one. It's just showing light. See, shine. 19 shine. So I think what I feel for this year is the light is coming. So I don't know exactly what that means. It's just like an intuitive feeling of the end of the whole year, or close to the end of the year too. It's just that the light is coming. The light is coming. So you think about that for a while and try to figure that out, what it can mean. But that's what I feel, is I feel like the light is coming. Well, what is the light? Who is the light? And is it us? Is it people? Is it ourselves? Internal self? What is it? Is it the beings up there? Just the light is coming, so you'll know what it is. Well, if you know what the shadows you have gone through in life, or the past 3 years, you'll understand what the light is then for you in this path. So, also a shine. Maybe your light is shining. It's going to push forward, and you're going to emanate that light. Be the light or maybe you're going to be the light for others, right? Finally, your heart is healed, and you're emanating it, right? Going through all the trials and challenges that you've gone through in life. Now the light is there. You will receive the light, and you will be able to give the light, right? All right, so these 3 cards just popped out, but I'll still take 3 more cards. By the way, this music, I love dolphins. I'm very connected to dolphins. I've been really kind of like discovering more about me and my past life and my origins, where I came from, and planets I came from. And one thing is this, I'm very connected is the water. So 3 things: the water, the moon, and the dolphins. So which I have the music playing, is like it has the picture actually of the dolphins, of the and the water, oceans, and the moon. So yeah, so you can kind of sometimes hear the dolphins singing a bit in the distance. So, and I love that. Okay, so the first card is Take the Lead. So we have Take the Lead. So Take the Lead is, I believe it's a 3 of Wands. So things are moving forward in your direction. That's what I feel. Things are kind of unfolding, and you're kind of brewing up something. You're kind of bringing forth something in your life, manifesting something that is taking you in the right direction, pushing you forward to the right path. So this is actually quite positive. There is actually good things coming your way. Whatever you're planning, whatever you're grasping, whatever you're making tangible, is gonna push you forward. It's positive. It's kind of like um it's kind of like the victory card that I showed, but it's more like you're kind of seeing the ships coming forward, like good things coming forward to you, like your positive things coming forward, right? So you're gonna see that this is gonna help you, whichever you're manifesting. 3 wands, a lot of optimistic. It's very optimistic. You see your horizons and you see that it's quite optimistic, right? Your ships are coming in, kind of that phrase, right? And anything you can probably be working towards. If you're working in a business, you're seeing that it's slowly starting to accelerate and it's slowly progressing, and you see that, whoa, this is actually working, and whoa, this is actually looking good and progressing. It's moving forward. The ships are coming in, basically. Or, oh, look, I have this job opportunity and I'm working on it, and things are positive. I'm not, things are good. I'm good in good interaction, good validation or review or work, being not criticized, right? It's like being treated well. Oh, things are going in the right direction, like ships coming in, right? Being treated well, awesome, right? So yeah, no conflicts, no competitions, no deception, no people trying to kick you out. Like, good. Ships coming in, so going in the right direction. I was in the bad direction before, now I'm going in the right direction. Things like that. Or like the relationship, for example, looking good. Or, what I'm working towards is, I see quite optimism in what's going on. So that's why it says take the lead, take charge, be the leader of what you're doing. Take charge of what you want to do, because it looks like you're moving forward in the right direction. It feels like you can see the pieces there for you. You just need to take the lead. You're seeing the pieces of you. You're seeing the pieces that need to unfold, right? It's just like I said, you just have to count to 3. 1, 2, 3, take the lead. Just do it. If you think too much, you're gonna freeze. Don't think too much. Whichever you're planning, whichever you're building, don't think too much. Just do it. Don't think. Just close your eyes. 1, 2, 3, do it. Right? So just take the lead. Take charge of your life. Take charge of what you're building. If it's like a business, like I said, you see it progressing, then take charge now. Take the lead of it. Relationship working out, take the lead. Opportunities moving forward, take the lead. You know? And this can relate to many, many things. Just take charge, take the lead. So we have the heart chakra too. So this is also saying that, like this card, I was relating it to this card a lot. So right here. So it's like emanating light, right? Emanating light. And I feel like that's your heart also. That's your heart chakra, because your heart chakra this year, or in the next 2 weeks, this is a 2 weeks reading. Like I said, it's a little bit of a foreshadowing. But in the next 2 weeks, you're going to feel like your heart is opening. You're going to feel like your heart chakra is slowly opening up. It's like healing. It's the vortex is moving. It's like you're healing. Your heart chakra is healing, where it was very blocked, very blocked. And so because it was blocked, we don't attract that love that we want. We don't attract things and people that are, like people at work, or people in business, or people or your friendships, right? If like your friendships haven't been bad, it's probably because your heart chakra has been closed, and you don't attract that same love and respect back. But now I feel like your heart chakra is like opening up. So as it's as it opens, you're attracting love back to you, right? You're attracting it because you're emanating love. So as you emanate love, you attract the love back, right? And it's normal to have blockages in your heart chakra, because if you've been through a lot in life, if you've been backstabbed many times in regards to work, coworkers, business partnerships, relationships, family drama, family matters, losses, pains, of course your heart chakra will close. It's understandable why we would decide for our heart, like not for decide, but we would, in a way, we kind of decide, because we kind of decide to block it, right? We kind of decide to block ourselves from the world, from people, from situations. We kind of become like cold-hearted, right? Like ice, right? And that's going to impact your life. We don't realize it, but that it does impact our life. We suddenly don't receive that love that we deserve. We receive, if our hearts are cold, so we're going to receive people that are cold. If we're spiteful, we're going to get spiteful people. If we're angry people, really angry people, then we're going to get anger back, right? So that's the nature of reality. So that's why you have to, it's a reflection. Everything outside of you is a reflection of you. So, and it's kind of hard to comprehend, because I used to be like, no, they're just bad people. I'm not the bad one. Like, they're bad. It's not because of me. They're but in reality, there's something in me that needs to heal, right? And you're seeing it from another person. They're like your reflection. They're like your mirror. So you just have to pay attention to what's happening, and then analyze yourself and become aware of yourself. Why do I attract these people? Is there something in me that hasn't healed? Right? Am I not healed? Is my self-worth very low? Or have I been acting like that with others internally? Like I feel like that. So that's like little warning signs of of view, basically, of what you're going through internally. And then people are like your mirrors to see, oh, I didn't know I had that. I kind of had that very suppressed, or I was aware of that, but now I need to heal it. I see, okay, I have to heal that. So yeah, that's sometimes that happens, right? If like angry people coming, there must be a lot of anger in me that I have to heal, right? And I didn't realize I had so much anger, because I see people in front of me that have so much anger or temperamental. Then there must be something in me that's like that I have to heal. Maybe it comes from the past. Maybe it comes in from my teenage years, the things that happened, and I developed a lot of anger, but it's suppressed in me and I haven't released. It can be so many things, right? And or it can be like, those are just like small examples, right? So yeah, so your heart chakra will be now opening, will be healing, and you can be attracting better love, better relationships, better friendships, right? If you didn't receive proper friendship, if you attract a lot of backstabbing friendships, friendships that are two-faced and have masks, well, this time you won't attract that anymore. You'll attract good, genuine people, right? Because your heart is opening. You are opening up and you are changing. And so because you're changing, the people around you will change, and they will be like magnets to this kind of new energy that you're emanating now, right? And because you're emanating a lot of light, because I see light everywhere. I see light here. I see light here, right? So yeah, I see a lot of light here, and I feel like, oh, there's even light here when you say take the lead, right? Take the lead. So there's going to be more light coming forward for you, because you're slowly bringing that out, you see? So it's like this. It's like, because I am opening up my heart and my chakra and I'm healing, because I am emanating more light coming out of me, I am attracting more light towards me. So you see, the light is going towards her, like coming to her aid, right? Because she's opening up. So that's beautiful, right? Oh, and this one's also very nice, like the light coming through, receiving that light. So so I see your heart chakra opening up. Um, we have of course there's waves that happen 2 weeks, right? Within these 2 weeks, because of the full moon in Cancer, and you see it here, the little moon sneaking there. There's like, I'm sorry, but you have to do this. You have to go through this. I'm sorry. So there is a feeling of feeling alone. So you are feeling quite alone now. You're feeling a little distance at the moment. There are periods when, of course, we're going to feel alone. We're going to feel a little bit isolated with whatever you're going through. And although there are a lot of positive things happening, there are challenges, of course, always. But you may be feeling a bit alone, perhaps a bit empty. In the next 2 weeks, you may go through another purge, another wave coming through, right? That the moon needs you to go through again. But they don't mean to. But yeah, it's just another wave, another purge that you have to go through, and there will be periods where you'll feel a bit empty. Maybe like going through the dark night of the soul, or a bit spiritually empty. Kind of like a purge, going through a purge, and kind of feeling a little isolated from your current home too. So the girl, she's looking at her home there, her cabin, and she doesn't feel that connected to it anymore. Like, she doesn't feel that connected to her home for some reason. She's looking at it and in a distance, and there's something in her that feels alone. So even though she's at home, or he's at home, they feel alone. So there's something regarding to your home place that you may feel a little bit lonely. You may feel disconnected by it for some reason. Like for example, the home there looks warm and cozy and welcoming, right? There's even a light there in the door welcoming the person there. But it's almost as if the person doesn't want to be there. It's just there in the distance. It prefers to be outside. They prefer to be outside, carrying their own light. It's interesting. So although there's and just being in nature, being around them, they have light with them, but it's like they don't want to be in the light of the home. They just prefer being by themselves, carrying their own light, and embracing the nature and the moon up there, and looking at the light of the moon too. So yeah, that happens sometimes. And that happens a lot. Sometimes we can be around people and we may not feel connected to them. Sometimes we can be certain places and certain home and still feel alone, right? Or sometimes you can actually be alone by yourself and feel alone, right? So you actually feel that alone feeling. Um, so which can happen in the next 2 weeks. So my advice with this is that because there's so much light coming forward now, there's so much changes coming forward, lots of aid. And because you're changing also internally, like your heart chakra is opening, I mean, and so many things brewing up, such a big thing is brewing up for you. There's a lot of internal reflection that needs to be made during these 2 weeks about things that are happening in your life that you have to reconsider. That's what I feel. Yeah. There's going to be certain things that you are going to need to reconsider in your life because of this feeling that you're feeling alone and empty. And when we feel like that, there's a lot of things, they're like wake-up calls, and wake-up calls that have to take you forward somewhere else. So maybe you are not probably going in the right path, or maybe this is like a warning sign that something needs to be done in the household, perhaps. Something needs to change. Something can't continue the way it was, right? There needs to be action that needs to take forward on this. Or perhaps you just need to move yourself in a new direction, right? So those are the options that can happen. And that's why those moments are important. You do feel, it is quite impactful. You do feel quite sad, but they're for a reason. They're to make you aware of something that needs to direct you somewhere else. That's what I mean. So So if we add this together, 9, 12. So yeah, surrendering. Kind of like this, the hangman, right? So surrender. That's what it's telling you. You're going to need to surrender certain things. Surrender certain things that are happening. Sometimes we don't have control of the situation. We like to have control, but we don't always have control of it. And that's what I've learned in life too. And that's what you may be going through as well. You may learn that certain things we can't control. And sometimes we have to let go and see where it takes us. Or like certain things make us realize about something. Right? We realize about certain things, like that feeling of alone, and then you start to say, okay, well, I don't have control of this situation, so I'm gonna have to let it go and see where it takes me, right? But still being aware of like, oh, I'm aware that I feel this way. I feel this way. What can I do about it? I do have a level of control, yes, but there is also a level of surrender, right? And embrace, because you are receiving so much positivity, so much optimism, and yes to your questions, and you are getting a lot of light, so that's good. And that's all due because your heart chakra is opening up, right? So that's good. All right, so that's all the messages I see for you guys for the next 2 weeks. It's been already an hour and 20 minutes. So what I'll do right now is I'll take one card from the Enchanted map oracle card. So I'll just read that and I'll give you like my uh my my intuitive thoughts on that, and then we can end it tonight. And I'm thinking, well, now I have some time now. I'm going to continue doing horoscopes, not horoscopes, zodiac sign readings, sign readings again, taroscopes. Wow, I forgot. It's been so long since I've done the taroscopes. So I'm going to do taroscopes again. I've been doing taroscopes for like couple of years now, for a long time now. I actually started my channel a long time doing taroscopes, doing readings with zodiac signs since the year 2014 to 2015. Yeah, that's how when I started my channel. I started my channel 2014. 2014 to 2015 when I moved to Vancouver. When I graduated from school from Sheridan, then I had to me and my partner headed to Vancouver, and that's when I birthed the channel. And I started doing tarot scopes, like little horoscopes with using the tarot cards, right? And that was pretty good. It was successful at first, but then I got busy and everything, and then things, views went down because I started to focus on my career after that, and so now it's been a challenge to kind of bring that up again. So, but yeah, I've been doing tarot scopes for a while now. I always do the fire signs, water signs, earth signs, and air signs. I used to do them like that. I used to work with the angel tarot too. I don't know if you guys would go back and see those. They're a long time ago readings. Some of them, some videos I had to delete all of them because I wanted to bring a different energy into the channel. And I started doing live streams, so that's why I kind of changed it up a bit. And yeah, I would always do the readings. I wouldn't show myself. I think I would just show the cards and do readings for Leos, readings for Sagittarius, for Cancers, for Pisces, for all these signs. I would always do tarot scopes, right? And then I started doing it again, but like as a live stream, just 2 years ago, I think. That's when I started 2 years ago. So that's my baby boy. He's Felix. He wants to say hi. He's there in the corner. I don't know if you can see him. Yeah, he woke up. He was sleeping. He was napping. Hi, Felix. I call him little conejito. Gavin probably knows. Little bunny. He's like a little bunny. And then Luna sleeps in there. Luna is inside there sleeping. So he's just saying hi. So that's Felix. Felix. And then that's Luna. Yeah, he's your baby. So he just wants to say, you can see his little ears popping up. He wants to say hi. He knows he knows I was gonna do a reading, so he wants to be there. So so what I was saying is What was I saying again? Oh, your conejito bebé. We call him Little Bunny because he looks like a bunny. He does. Felix looks like a bunny. And one day I was walking around and saw two bunnies, and they look just like, I'm like, wait a minute, they kind of look like Felix. Felix has a little shape of a bunny face and stuff like that. So we started calling him Little Conejito, meaning little bunny. So, and then Luna's like a majestic Black Panther. She's like, have you ever seen a documentary of a woman who telepathically talks to animals? She's very well known. It's a very long time documentary or video, but I always remember it. And she had this ability to talk with animals, and they would always hire her to kind of come and resolve certain problems in zoos, in the zoo, and see why these animals have a conflict, or if animals are lost and they can't find the animals. They contact these these special people that telepathically can communicate with the animals and see where they are. And so one time, and they show this all in the documentary, they hired the woman, and the woman can sense where the animal is. I see that they walk past these stores. They're around this area. I see a bunch of park there and everything. And then because the city wasn't so big, it was a short town, so a small town. They wasn't so hard to know exactly where the cat was or the animal was, and because of the help of the lady that can connect with them, with the animals, and then so that they were able to find the cat. And yeah, so they hire these people. Oh, well, she's special. She's a very special kind of like person who can specially contact animals and communicate with them telepathically. And in the documentary, there was a case about a Black Panther, and he was so majestic, and he was so beautiful. And the owner, the person in the zoo, was so concerned about him because he wouldn't. There was just a lot of conflict with him, and he wanted to know what was wrong with him because he loved him so much. He loved the Black Panther so much, but he rejected the the person, so the owner of it, so much, right? and and then the woman came and she had a conversation with the Black Panther, and the Black Panther would tell her like how mistreated he was in the previous place in the zoo, and how he doesn't trust any human, and humans just want to hurt me and all that stuff. I don't trust anybody. And then and she's like, oh, well, we reassure you that you can be trusted here with this person because this person really cares about you. That's why the Black Panther was transferred there in the first place, because there was a history of abuse of the animals back there, right? In the other zoo. And that's why this other man took in the Black Panther, because he was aware that the Black Panther was being abused. And so the woman communicated with the Black Panther, and the Black Panther told her that. And the Black Panther also said something like, but by the level of I am a very important being. But people don't know that here. Like as if like he came from somewhere, like in the spirit world or something. He's a very important, actually, being. He's actually very important, right? But here in this life, and as a panther, he is being very mistreated and disrespected, right? And he's like, I need to be respected. He's like, I don't get the respect I deserve for the person that I really am, right? So like that's what he told. That's why he told the girl and the lady, and the lady was like, apparently, he has but the level of experience in that this panther has, or the level of where he comes from and what he is, he's a very he actually would love more respect for who he is, because he's actually a very important being, and where he comes from, or what he's done, or the level of years probably that he has, soul years, or I'm not sure, but apparently he's an important person, an important animal. And being treated like this, he feels like degraded and feels like disrespected in who he really is as a person, as a panther, right? As a panther, see, animals, wow, animals are so beyond our understanding. They're so majestic. They're so intelligent. They know more than us. They do. They perceive more than us. And so she told that to the owner that rescued him. And he's like, "Oh, I see. I promise I'm going to give you so much respect and love." And so he understood that. And then the Black Panther also mentioned, "Oh, I'm concerned about the two baby cubs that are still in the other zoo. Are they okay?" And that's what she's like, "Oh, she's showing concerns about these two baby cubs that he was with in the other zoo and wants to know if they're okay." And then they went and they researched and they were doing fine and everything and they were okay. So they communicate like that. It's so fascinating. And so and then they show the outcome of everything and how the relationship is like after a month or so. And then the woman goes back that communicates with the animals, and she sees them having a better relationship and seeing that he's less aggressive, the Black Panther. And the owner's like, "Oh, I always give him so much love and respect." And he's like, "Oh, you're so beautiful. You're so beautiful." And then he's like, "Oh, oh," like saying thank you, like with kindness and love, like, "Oh, like, thank you." I don't know, like you can tell in their eyes so much emotion. So they feel like emotional because they're like, finally, someone is respecting me for who I am, for who I really am, and I'm getting the love. So it was beautiful how it finished. And so that Black Panther is called Spirit. So that's the name of the Black Panther in that documentary. His name is Spirit. And then Luna reminds me of that Black Panther, like a miniature version of him. And so I call her, "Oh, little Spirit," sometimes. So that's the story of Spirit. So that's the reason I call him Bunny, Conejito, and then Luna is called Spirit. Look, their nicknames. So, oh, you remember the story? I'll try to find the link of the documentary. It was really fascinating. I liked it. Oh, Conejito bebé. Okay, so I'm just gonna put these cards away and I'm gonna put. Whoa! Don't fall down now. So I was going back to this tarot scope. So I've been doing tarot scopes for a long time now, right? Since 2014, 2015, with my tarot cards, and I've been doing it for a long time now, on and off, because of work and because of things and certain situations in life that happen. And I'm gonna go back to it now. So I'm gonna start to do tarot scopes again, starting next week or probably either 2 weeks from now or a week from now, depending on my emotional state with everything that I'm going through right now in the moment. So we'll see how things go, and then I can start doing tarot scopes again and start doing the zodiac sign readings. So okay, so I'm just gonna take another card. Okay, so I'm going to pull one more card and then we'll end the reading for tonight, the live stream for tonight for the full moon in Cancer and Leo reading. So oracle cards, these are called the Enchanted Map oracle cards. So let's see. All right, so let's shuffle these cards. What messages, spirit guides, angels, divinity, Resident Masters, what messages you have for us to conclude the reading for the next 2 weeks? Wide open. Number 42, wide open. So take a look at this card and try to observe it and absorb the energy as well. What do you feel when you look at this card? Any sensations, any feelings that you're getting from it? Well, when I take a look at it, there is a level of freedom. I feel freedom in this card, like she's free, right? Like there's a feeling of feeling liberated by something, by a situation, by a conflict, or probably being free from the struggles and turbulences of the past 3 years too. That can be the reason too, right? Being kind of like open to now what is available to her, what is coming for her, right? Kind of like an embrace, like she's embracing what will come for her now, what will come towards her, and feeling very free and liberated by everything, feeling very light, right? So this is the message I feel that it will be coming forward for you in this year and for the next 2 weeks mostly. So yeah, there is a feeling of allowing yourself to be wide open to the possibilities that may come for you, whether it be abundance, let abundance come to you, whether it be opportunities, whether it is the light, whether it is anything, just allow it to come forward and see how it's gonna push your life forward or where it will take you, right? So there is a energy of lightness coming forward, of freedom coming forward. That's what I said. So, but let's read what it has to say to have a better understanding of this card. Okay, well, the feeling of vulnerability often comes with not feeling secure about something. So when you're feeling vulnerable, that's probably because you feel perhaps insecure about a situation, not knowing an outcome, not having control of something. That's mostly what it is when we lack control of a situation, like what I mentioned, right? We have to learn to surrender, right? So we mentioned this in the card reading that we have to kind of surrender to things, right? So in this case, when you feel vulnerable, just know that it's okay to feel like that it's a normal feeling, a normal human feeling to feel vulnerability, because we don't have our security there anymore, or we don't have a sense of like a lot of our path can be, we don't know the direction of our path. There's lack of control of a situation or an obstacle that's happening, right? So there is a feeling of vulnerability because you don't feel secure about a situation, right? So I think the best advice which I would give you is just accept that you feel vulnerable. It's normal. It's okay to feel vulnerable. We're humans, right? And try instead to feel more trust, like trust that things will work out, right? So feel your vulnerability, and within that vulnerability, understand that you have to kind of just surrender and let go at the meantime. So surrender to it. Then as you surrender, you start to trust. So just trust in the flow of things. Trust in yourself, trust in the universe, trust the things will take place, but according to how it needs to take place. So that would be my advice in regards to the vulnerability, because it's a matter of feeling insecure. That's all. Feeling insecure and feeling feeling insecure, not having control of something. That's why, because you don't know where it's going to lead. So often things get worse when you try to control it, but the less you control, the better things flow as they need to flow, because everything has its way of doing things. Everything just, how do you say, structurizes and on its own, solidifies on its own. The nature of life, nature of reality is just, life is like that. Everything is so intelligent. Every part of your cell is so intelligent. Everything is intelligent. the atmosphere, the atoms, the air around you is very intelligent. Everything knows what it needs. Creation is intelligent. Nature is intelligent. It just knows you're intelligent. So it's just like allow it to do what it needs to do. The bodies in your cells are intelligent. Also, like for example, when when a person is pregnant, when a woman is pregnant, she can't control the formation of the baby or how the baby is being formed inside her womb. So she surrenders and lets go because she knows that her body is intelligent. The nature of her feminine body, the female body, knows how to build creation, like build a human living being inside of you. She can't control it. She surrenders, right? There's a sense of vulnerability in the sense that she doesn't know what may happen. There may be some complication, but she trusts, and she trusts in her body, or she can perhaps support it in a sense, like by eating healthier, by eating certain things that can give more nutrients to the baby. There are certain things we do have control over where we can help with the situation, with whatever you're dealing with, right? But then after that, you just have to trust in your body. You trust the nature. It's intelligent. Your cells are intelligent. Your body is intelligent. It's creating a living being inside of you. So that's what I mean. It's like the things that where it's leading to. It has its purpose. It's intelligent. So it's just we just like to control things. That's all, and that makes us insecure. But the more we control it, the more we create obstacles for the intelligence of what is building for you. You know what I mean? So the whatever is being built for you. So let go. Just let go and trust that things will work out and that it will slowly start to form a structure, or it will slowly kind of solidify something, and you'll see later on what it may be. So that's what I give advice with anybody who's feeling vulnerable, because this relates to the tarot cards too. When I was doing the readings, I could feel that feeling, insecurity, vulnerability. I feel it too lately. So that's what I learned in terms of myself too, and advice for myself and for everyone, that I would do that too. So, okay, so I'm just going to read the message of this card and then end it for today. So number 42. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to read it from here. So this is 42. Okay. So it says wide open. You are free to express your uniqueness to the world and share in all the bounty of life's endless possibilities. So the message for this card, upright: all manner of opportunities are presented to you at this time. So that explains why, she's wide open in her arms, because there's opportunities approaching. This card is a signal that you're able to truly manifest your dreams and that your goals are in sight. Don't remain small and contracted. Instead, expand your horizons. Expand your horizons beyond what you believe to be your limitations. You have a unique voice that needs to be expressed to the world. Give me a sec. Be back. This is why I always need water beside me. I always forget to drink the water. So I'm just going to read it again. Okay, because this is a very important message. I really like the message of this card. So it says, don't remain small and contracted. Instead, expand your horizons beyond what you believe to be your limitations. You have a unique voice that needs to be expressed to the world. The universe is supportive of new ideas and approaches at this time, so speak up and speak out. This card is the sign of the maverick who freely roams the wide open space of possibility. Allow for greater vision to replace old ideas as you dream a grander dream. So, what I feel like this card is saying is that feel free to dream big. Like, there's a lot you can offer to the world. You are offering already something, but it's like you have more potential to show more. You have more potential to show the world more. You can give yourself, you have a lot of dreams, and then you can accomplish those dreams. You have to be wide open to the possibilities. You have to receive and you have to give. You have to be like, this is me, and I'm going to show it. I'm going to show it to the whole world who I am and what I'm doing and what I'm supposed to be doing, what I'm capable of doing, and what I'm able to do much more, right? So that's what it is also. It's like, you know who you are, and you know your beingness, and it's time to show to the world what that is. It's time to express it. It's time to show it and to be strong and firm in what you're doing and to following your dreams and making them come true. So this year is about showing the world who you really are, right? No more kind of hiding yourself. No more putting yourself in this cocoon. Like, it reminds me of the picture of the tarot card of the man contracting, and then he's kind of expanding forward towards the light. Like, he needed to be like that so that he could be expressive and do the things he needed to do. So it's kind of like pushing down and then whoop, pushing forward very fast, right? So that's what I feel. It's like, it's time to show yourself. It's time to show your light. And it's time to receive the light now. So that's the message that I get for this card, the wide open card. Be open to everything that's coming your way now. Receive and be ready to show yourself and emerge from where you came from your cocoon, emerging from your cocoon and being open to everything that life has to give you now. So that's the message I see for you guys for the next 2 weeks and for the coming year, actually. I feel this is a premonition, a foreshadowing. So, okay, guys. So that's it for my reading. That's a sign that that's it now. So I'm gonna just wrap this up now, and I hope you guys had a great night in this tarot session, and I'll see you guys again really soon. Bye.